Not too far away, of course, is Ireland, one of my favorite destinations on the planet. There is a fantastic Ireland package in the Travelzoo Top 20 today, and there it is. This is from our friends at Gate 1 Travel. Great price point, $499. That's a 4-night vacation in downtown Dublin that includes airfare out of several cities in the U.S., including, I believe it's New York, Chicago. So if you're from the East Coast, again, it's about a 6-hour flight out of New York, and boom, you're there in beautiful Dublin, and you can spend those 4 nights there. $499, an unbelievable value there from our friends at Gate 1. And you're close to all of these great places to visit: Trinity College, Dublin Castle, the Guinness Storehouse, St. Patrick's Cathedral, Grafton Street. I mean, these are iconic destinations, some of my favorite hangouts when I go to Ireland. And the fact that Ireland is now back open to American travelers, folks, makes this package all the more appealing. So again, you'll find this on the Travelzoo Top 20 today from Gate 1, a $499 4-night with air package to Dublin, Ireland. Now, for those of you who are Travelzoo members, you love Ireland, one of the most searched destinations in Europe or on the planet, really, consistently. And as you know, we have a long-standing relationship with our friends at Tourism Ireland. For years, we've been broadcasting live from the St. Patrick's Day Parade there in Dublin, from the Galway International Arts Festival, from the New Puka Festival there in Trim, celebrating the fact that Halloween, don't you know, originated in Ireland. But that's a picture from me just a couple of years ago, right there on this side of O'Connell Bridge there in downtown Dublin, broadcasting to millions around the world at St. Patrick's Day Parade. It is the second largest St. Patty's Day Parade in the world after the one they hold there in New York City. That's our broadcast 3 years ago from the Galway International Arts Festival, a 2-week extravaganza. If you're an art lover, now that this is going to be coming back, one of the great arts festivals there. And that was a piece of art that by design was meant to be toppled by the public. So we all really rushed it and brought it down. It was a fantastic experience. Let's go to Dublin, shall we? Niall Gibbons is the CEO of Tourism Ireland. And, you know, folks, as Travelzoo members know, we're not just working directly with resorts and vacation companies. We're working directly with these destinations themselves to make sure that we're encouraging and inspiring people to travel to some of our favorite spots. And Niall, as you know, Ireland holds a very special place in our hearts. And it's great to see you, sir, there in Dublin.
Good evening, Gabe. Great to see you again. And lovely to see those photographs of St. Patrick's Day. When you were there in Dublin, I was over at that biggest parade actually in New York at the time, so it's quite ironic. And now here I am in Ireland and you're over in the United States, so we have to get to meet in real life again some stage.
Well, as soon as we can, we're going to get together again. And big news, as you know, last week on July 19th, Ireland opened up to American travelers all over again. And this week, indoor dining made a comeback throughout Ireland, which was welcome news to an industry that has really sort of been anticipating this for a long, long time. For folks who are looking to go to Ireland, and we know that 40 million Americans claim some degree of Irish heritage. So one of these places we want to go. What should we know? What are the restrictions or lack thereof for folks who want to maybe visit Ireland before the end of the year?
Okay, well, look, great to be on the show. So let's get the rules out of the way first. Yeah. We're open from the 19th of July. You've got to fill out a passenger locator form before you come. You've got to be fully vaccinated. And if you are, you get in, no problem. So it's all good news. It's all changed since the 19th of July. If you've got kids, just check out the small print there. If your kids are under the age of 12, they're all good to go. If they're between the age of 12 and 18, they're going to need a PCR test before they come in. But they'll be good to go as well. Northern Ireland just currently has restrictions on quarantine, but they're going to be lifted in the next couple of days. So if you're traveling in the fall, you should be very good to go. But just double check on Ireland.com to make sure you're okay on the small print. But that's as far as it goes. On indoor hospitality, again, fully vaccinated people. But I'm expecting these restrictions to get eased more and more as we head into the fall, because the vaccination rate in Ireland now is over 80%, heading towards over 90%. So that's really going to be in a good position. It's quieter, Gabe. I mean, it has to be said, this is not like 2019. And to put tourism in perspective in Ireland, in 2019, we had 11.3 million people came to the island of Ireland. We have a population of 6.7 million. Right. I mean, if you take 18 million people from the United States came to Europe that year. 1.8 million came to Ireland. So you're our biggest customers. We can't wait to see you. We've got the green carpet rolled out, and it's good to see the air carrier starting to put capacity back on. So all the main gateways are served: Boston, New York, Chicago, and we understand from talking to all our partners in the likes of Aer Lingus, Delta, American, United, all great airlines that have been serving Ireland for generations, will be putting flights back on as we head into late 21 and early 22. So really looking forward to a really positive future for tourism. I'm so excited I'm actually in Wicklow tonight in the Garden County of Ireland, just south of Dublin, and I saw that package and I said I'd nearly book it myself.
Well, share with all your friends on this side of the pond, and because that's a fantastic offer, and it's the kind of thing that's really sort of incentivizes and inspires people to consider the fact that, hey, Ireland's back open. I mean, there are a lot of folks. I mean, I just saw one of our viewers here, Tonke. Lives near Boston, Massachusetts. We know that there are a lot of folks, who, with Irish roots there in Boston. Tracy loves Ireland. I saw Virginia saying that she loves Ireland. So there's an emotional connection to this destination that we've been shut out of for so long. So clearly an important connection between the Americans and the Irish. What are some of the industries that you're seeing flourishing now as we begin to return to Ireland? As you know, I've been covering the food scene there for several years. I can't wait to go back and taste some of that fantastic, innovative cuisine, old world flavors with a new world spin, not just in Dublin, but in fantastic places like Wicklow, along the Wide Atlantic Way on the western coast. So the food angle to me is enough to draw a lot of folks. Golf is obviously something that draws a lot of folks there. What are some of the industries that you're seeing start to really ramp up as far as interest and desire from American travelers out there?
I think there's an amazing renaissance in food in Ireland over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
I heard this great phrase recently: food is the new currency of tourism. And if it is, Ireland is the place that you've got to go. And it's about the food, it's about the people that make it, it's about the ingredients, about where they come from. It's the story, it's the provenance, And I think as a small, green, clean destination, really, really high standards in sustainability, I think food is something that's always over-delivering on the expectations of our customers, which is terrific. You mentioned golf. It's great. I'm actually looking to go down to Kerry for my golf holiday in 2 weeks' time, and there's some amazing golf on the island of Ireland. We've got the Ryder Cup coming in 2027. We've just had the British Open here in 2019. Really hoping that's going to come again in a few years' time. But in terms of golf courses, you have more golf courses in Ireland than any other country in the world per head of population, and you have some really good, fabulous links courses. In big publications in the United States, we'd have probably 10 of the top 100 in the world, 2 in the top 10, the likes of Royal Portrush, Royal County Down in Northern Ireland. Unbeatable, really. So yeah. I think those are things that are terrific. And the industry is making a comeback now. I think we've all been tired of lockdown. We know from the research we're doing in the United States, people can't wait to get reconnected with their family and friends. There's been a lot of emotional disconnection over the last 18 months. I think people will find in Ireland, they will find that reconnection. I mean, it is a place that a lot of people call home. I'm looking at some of the people come up here, my eyes are green, and the people in Boston talking about their family. Even during the lockdown, I actually traced my family. I found I got new ancestors in New Jersey that left Mayo in 1910. So it's the bonds between our country are absolutely unique, and for many people who want to trace their ancestry, reconnect with family and friends, I think that's going to be a big emerging theme as we come through this pandemic. Like a lot of people have felt lonely and disconnected, and I think Ireland is a place where you will be able to find that reconnection. It's going to be a bit quieter this winter, which actually I think may not be a bad thing. Certainly for any of the visitor attractions that you want to go to, they're all going to be there for you. The Jameson Distillery, you had the bottle of Jameson earlier on. I was jealous. The Guinness Storehouse. I've been around the country visiting some of them, and the welcome is as warm as ever. And I think people will have a really good time.
One of my favorite experiences there, Niall, and I got this because I knew you would be here. Just a bottle of some. To me, the Irish whiskey is tough to beat. I mean, I love bourbon, I love Scotch, but the triple distillation on Irish whiskey, they weren't mending the bar here. Okay, this In the Mix is the name of the lobby bar here at the Sheraton Universal.
I wish I could reach over. I wish I could reach over. You were at the bar there, and I could take one of those, But the whiskey story in Ireland has been another fabulous story. I mean, in the last number of years, there's been a new range of distilleries that have opened around the country. Yeah. There's actually an Irish whiskey trail now with 30 different distilleries on it. So I don't know if you'll be able to stand after visiting every one of them, but you can certainly have a good go at it. But certainly the whiskey tasting experience is something I think has been a fabulous story that's really been part of the tourism renewal in the last decade.
There are some fantastic private chauffeur services that actually will basically guide you throughout the entire country of Ireland. So if you want to do that Irish whiskey trail, I know that the gin production is ramping up nicely there. I mean, you get one of those private chauffeurs. A plethora of information and just a wonderful way to responsibly do that kind of an experience. Quickly, the film tourism. We know that Game of Thrones is a big draw to those to Northern Ireland. That's becoming an attraction all its own there, the Game of Thrones experience.
The Game of Thrones experience has been an amazing phenomenon. We have Star Wars over here as well. So we have the biggest project on the small screen, and we have the biggest project on the big screen. screen, and they delivered an awful lot for Ireland in terms of our profile. And I think it's given rise now to a lot of other things. We've got Disenchanted being filmed over here for Disney at the moment as well. There's a big Game of Thrones exciting story coming down the track. I can't tell you what it is, but keep an eye out. There's going to be something really worthwhile on the Game of Thrones front coming down the track in a number of months' time. But really, the screen tourism story for Ireland has been a very, very positive one. And I think it's a big influencer in terms of destination. And we've been very proud to be associated with HBO and Lucasfilm as a really, really small country. We packed a punch.
Before I let you go, I want to remind folks, you can certainly fly into Dublin. You can fly into Belfast. You know what my favorite airport to fly into is Shannon. They're on the West Coast, along the Wild Atlantic Way. Smaller, quaint airport. And for folks who don't realize this, the pre-clearance phenomenon. Ireland is the only country in Europe where you can actually get your passport pre-clearance done there, so that when you land in the States, you're not going into that customs line in Miami or New York or wherever. You've done it. That pre-clearance is done. So you get off. Basically, you're a domestic passenger when you land from Ireland into the U.S., right?
There are so many connections between Ireland and the United States. It's amazing. But the pre-clearance is a great story because ultimately it almost makes Ireland the 51st state, because you arrive back into the United States like a domestic customer. You don't have to go through any queues. So it's a great selling point for your vacation here. Yeah,
I did a story there, pre-clearance program. It started in Shannon Airport. There were a couple of other locations on the planet that offer this. Canada is one of them, of course. But it started there at the Shannon Airport, and I just love getting there. You're near Limerick. You're near some of those great heritage sites in Shannon, and just a great destination. The Wild Atlantic Way at 1,500 miles, the longest designated driving route in the world, and I've done it in chunks over the years. Some of the Cliffs of Moher, part of that, of course. Some of the most dramatic, sort of the scenery there is the most dramatic you're ever going to see. All right, Niall, great to see you, even though we're about 6,000 miles apart. We'll have to be side by side. I'll save you a sip of this so that we can share it together next time I see you.
Well, I look forward to that, Gabe, and thanks for keeping in touch. It's going to be great to reconnect again in real life. I know a lot of people out there are looking for that, and Ireland's going to be ready with the green carpet when you come as well. We'll make sure I'll bring you down to the Jameson Distillery personally myself.
Okay, I love that. All right, Niall Gibbons, CEO of Tourism Ireland, one of our great destination partners here at Travelzoo, and behind a lot of the great Ireland content that we offer year-round. Bertie, you're right. At the Shannon Airport, the world's first duty-free store was launched there as well. So some very traveler-friendly firsts there at the Shannon Airport on the west coast of Ireland. And I did see someone else ask about that Ireland package. It's a 4-nighter. Can you extend that? Absolutely. Any of these packages, at the end of the day, consider them as sort of thresholds into your travel experience. If you want to add nights, if you want to go on a different airline, all these, you can certainly play with those details. But those are just great ones to take as is as well if you're just looking to maximize your travel dollars.